I think there's always been, a demand for people in fields of engineering, computer science, but I have to say that in all of my career, I don't think I've sensed that there's been a greater demand than there is now. We have an event twice a year, our Engineering Career Fair, where companies are invited. That number now exceeds 400 companies. And this is from all over the country, although the reality is that many of the folks that come here to recruit are our own alums. Many of these organizations are saying, go back and find more of you. I think part of the reason for that demand also is a growing recognition of the link between investments in engineering and computer science and economic impact, both in government sectors and the commercial sectors. One of the lessons we probably learned from the recession was that you don't really create wealth by moving numbers around strictly on a spreadsheet. Wealth creation requires manufacturing, the making of products, which includes software. And so investments in engineering and computer science are now understood to be very significant drivers of economic development. From my perspective, the demand has never been greater. You have a significant number of applicants to engineering, 8,000 or 10,000 for the 1,400 slots that we have. So there's every day a growing realization of this world of engineering, the fact that this degree in engineering really is a platform, a tremendous platform for many career options. The undergraduate degree held by the greatest percentage of S&P 500 CEOs is engineering, over 25%. You're not a patent attorney in this country hardly unless you have an engineering degree. Many people that are in the medical professions hold engineering. So it is a tremendous platform, and I think that therein lies demand. The salaries will range from somewhere in the $60,000 to $70,000 to $90,000. This is BS degrees. Certainly some fields that you have less production. For example, nuclear engineering, we have arguably one of the very top 3 or 4 programs in the country here. You're going to see starting salaries in the high 90s or something, almost 6 figures for undergraduate degrees. Generally, the field of civil and construction engineering may be more on the lower end, but lower end means still 70,000 or so. And those numbers keep moving every year. We have students that graduate with a certain amount of student debt, although not nearly as much as many other places. In the case of our engineering and computer science grads, they have a capability to address that relatively soon, if you will, upon graduation. In the last bond referendum, one of the items there had to do with something called Engineering Building Oval. We're just really appreciate and delighted with the support that referendum received. This is a $150 million plus project, and the referendum covers about half of that. Engineering is not an inexpensive proposition. When you're talking about world-class research in engineering, you're talking about equipment and facilities that are major investments. When we talk about attracting faculty, we have to have these kind of environments just to be able to compete. In fact, I have never seen more investments in engineering infrastructure in this country than what I'm seeing right now. The link between investments in engineering and computer science and economic development is very clear. States across the country are making major investments in these areas, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we are able to stay at this level and continue to lead in some of these areas. So it's much more than a building. We're talking about really the future of the college, and the future of NC State really hinges upon this. People is the most important, but you're not going to have your best people unless you provide them with the best tools, and that is what this facility is all about.